Hey beauty babes, welcome to my channel. I am Maria, aka agapelovegirl. Thank you so much for joining me today. Well, today I'm here with a feature and demo of the Moody Sisters brow pencils. They are available in two different shades. One is dark brown and the other one medium brown. I will have a demo to share with you, and I will be demoing both pencils so you guys can see what they look like. Now these pencils are really great because they do have both the pencil, which is one that you do have to sharpen, and then on the other side it does have a spoolie, which is really nice and convenient. I know it can be a very big pain in the butt when a brow product doesn't include a spoolie on it. A spoolie is really great to have for brushing your brows before applying your brow pencil and after. You will see me do this in the demo. I will brush my brows to make sure they're nice and in place before applying the brow pencil, as well as after. I like to run the spoolie through my brows after applying the product as well, because I find that it helps pick up any excess product. It also does a little bit of blending in that product and with your brows and everything, and I think it just makes it look a little bit nicer, not too heavy or anything like that. Just a spoolie is a great tool to have. So like I said, you will see me demoing both of the brow pencils, and these are both really great shades. The dark brown pencil is the one that I prefer because I've been really preferring to do my brows a lot darker and bolder. I used to go with more of a universal taupe shade, and a lot of people can pull off that, but I've kind of just been liking my brows a lot more bold and dark because my hair is so dark. So this dark brown one is really great. As you can see the little swatch there. It'll be great for dark brown or, you know, black hair. My hair is kind of like an in-between. I mean, you know, and it looks really great on my brows. Now the medium brown is quite a bit lighter. I'm going to swatch here so you can see there, and it actually looks really, I would call this medium brown shade more of a universal taupe shade. That's what it reminds me of. I have another brow product, actually two other ones from different companies that are like labeled as a universal taupe or a taupe color, and that this is exactly the shade, and that's kind of the shade that I used to always wear, and it's a lot more natural. It's a lot more universal for a variety of, whether you have blonde hair, whether you have, you know, brown hair, light brown hair, whatever the case may be, even black hair or dark brown hair like I did, because I could wear this and it works fine on my brows. It's a lot more natural. You can, as you can see, it's pretty light. You can do it a little bit lighter too. You see that, and then you could just, you know, deepen it up a little bit more if you want as well. It really just depends on how much pressure and product you apply to your brows. And as you can see, these pencils are actually really, really creamy. Like, it doesn't take much for me to just get the product off. It just glides right on. This is a good and a bad thing. Like, for me personally, I don't like a brow product that I have to really press hard on, because it's hard for me to get a precise line if I have to really press hard, because most likely it'll just mess up. But so these glide on really, really easy. That's a good thing. The only bad thing I would say, or the downside to that, is like you kind of have to have a much more gentle or light hand with it. Otherwise it could be really easy to get a ton of product on there. I think I did that a little bit in the demo, and I was like, oh man. But the good thing about that is if you get too much product in, like I said, if you just go in with the spoolie and brush it out a little bit, the spoolie will pick up the excess product and you're good to go. And then with that being so creamy and you know, the product kind of going, you can kind of use it up a little bit faster that way. But I mean, they're really big pencils. I mean, it's not like it's one of those retractable pencils, you know, where it's like a big pencil but you really only have that much product. So I mean, it's a good size here that you're gonna get. Okay, so now I know that using brow products or filling in your brows can be super intimidating. I know that when I first started filling in my brows, well, before I did that, I really had super sparse, very thin brows. I might even try to find a photo to show you guys what I mean and how my brows looked. I really didn't care at all about my brows. They were always messy. They were very thin. I didn't do anything to them until I decided to, like, wow, it actually looks really nice when, you know, brows are filled in and much more like structured looking, I guess you would say. And so I started filling my brows, and the very first time I filled in my brows, I did use the universal taupe color, but it was scary. I thought I looked like I had Sharpie brows on. I thought they were so dark. I thought that I looked weird. People were gonna look at me weird and think I looked weird. And really it was just because I wasn't used to seeing my brows like that. I was used to seeing these thin, barely there, no brows, messy brows. So it does take getting used to. So if you're a newbie, I would suggest possibly going with the medium brown shade just because it is more of a, like I said, a universal type of shade. Or you could, get them both and go for the dark one if you do have dark hair, but just be very light-handed with it. But anyways, filling your brows is really nice because your brows actually, I mean, believe it or not, whether you want to believe it or not, believe the hype about brows is that brows are pretty important part of our facial features. They're what gives us our expression and really help to define and frame our face. And I don't mean define like they say who we are, but like, frame and define our face and give us our look. So in that aspect, brows are important. So it's nice to fill them in and give them a little bit more definition, especially if they are a little bit lighter, whether you're, if you're blonde and maybe your brows don't show up as much, you want to give them a little bit of help there. Or if you just need to adjust the shape of your brows, using a pencil. You don't have to just follow where your hair is. You might even see me in the demo kind of adjusting or going a little bit outside where my brows are, or even just filling in sparse areas. So my brows are, they're okay. They're not like really thick and bushy, but they're not super thin either. I do have some sparse areas, and that's why I love filling in my brows. They give my brows a much more even, consistent look. I can fill in my sparse areas. I can thicken it up and fix my arch where I need to fix it, and all that kind of stuff, and basically make them, both sides, look as similar as possible. Now remember, they're not going to be twins, they're going to be sisters or even maybe cousins. They're going to be in the same family. They're not going to be exactly identical. No one's perfect, so keep that in mind. Don't get frustrated. So with that being said, let's go ahead and roll into the demo. Now you're going to see me applying the dark brown brow pencil first. And I do apologize for these demos if they look a little bit strange. It is tough to film yourself applying brow products, and I like to be very close to a mirror and seeing what I'm doing, but I was also trying to make sure I stayed in frame, so I had a little bit of a hard time filming the demos, but you basically get the gist of how these work. So you're going to see me kind of outlining the shape of my brows. I like to start with the top of my brows first, get that shape going, from the front of my brow to my arch, and then go down the tail. And then I will kind of either fill in a little bit of the middle section of my brow or go down to outline the bottom section of my eyebrows. And from there, I will basically just kind of get the outline shape of my brows going, and then fill in the middle of my brows and any sparse areas. And then you will also see me, after doing that, taking the spoolie and brushing and blending it out. And this, like I said, picks up any excess product. I feel like it really blends the product in with your hair and your skin and all that kind of stuff. After I'm done filling in my brows with the brow product and brushing them out with the spoolie, I am going to do just a little bit of cleanup with a flat brush and some face setting powder. Now you might have seen a lot of people do cleanup on their brows using a concealer or their foundation, and that is perfectly fine. You can do that if you find yourself comfortable to do so. I personally don't like to do a concealer cleanup because I find that if you don't blend it well enough, it can look very harsh and almost give you angry brows if you're not careful. And I like a much softer, natural look. I mean, I say natural very lightly because filled in brows aren't always natural looking, but you know what I mean. I feel like it's less harsh if I use a powder and just do a little bit of cleanup that way, but your preference is really up to you, whatever you feel more comfortable with. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing to my other brow using the medium brown brow pencil, and again I'm just going to brush out my messy brows with the brow spoolie first before applying the product. Then you will again see me outlining my brows and just filling in any sparse areas. And again, just brushing the product out and together and brushing my brows back into place using the spoolie. And then doing some cleanup with the face setting powder. And that's it for this feature and demo of the Moody Sisters brow pencils. If you want to get your hands on these pencils from Moody Sisters or any other products from Moody Sisters, I do have a discount code. The code is AGAPELOVE. It is all caps. I'll put it here on the screen, and that will get you 5% off your purchase. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you have any questions, comments, and concerns, you know the drill. Leave a comment below and I'll be sure to get back to you. And until next time, much love and hugs to you. Bye, Bee Babes.